Pomelo, Decoded, the largest citrus and the ancestor of the grapefruit. Hold a pomelo in two hands. It is enormous, often the size of a small bowling ball, sometimes weighing over 3 pounds. It is the largest fruit in the citrus family by a wide margin, and visually, it looks like a pale yellow-green grapefruit that has been inflated to twice the size. The skin is thick and waxy. The pith underneath is unusually deep, sometimes more than an inch thick. Peel all that away, and you find massive segments of pale pink or pale yellow flesh, each one packed with hundreds of glistening juice vesicles. The flavor is sweeter and less bitter than a grapefruit, more floral, more refreshing. The pomelo, Citrus maxima, is the ancestor of the grapefruit and one of the foundational species that gave rise to most modern citrus fruits. In the next few minutes, we are going to take it apart and find vitamin C, naringin, limonoids, fiber, potassium, and one of the most underrated members of the citrus family. Botanically, the pomelo is a hesperidium, the type of berry unique to the citrus family. It has 4 distinct layers. The flavado is the outermost colored layer of the rind, dotted with oil glands that produce the fragrant essential oils characteristic of citrus. The albedo is the thick white spongy pith underneath, made of pectin and cellulose. The endocarp is the segmented flesh, usually 11 to 18 segments separated by thin papery membranes. And inside each segment are hundreds to thousands of juice vesicles, tiny tear-shaped sacs filled with juice. The pomelo has the thickest rind and pith of any citrus, sometimes accounting for 40% of the total fruit weight. Pomelo is one of the 3 foundational species, along with the mandarin and the citron, from which most modern citrus fruits were derived. The grapefruit is a natural hybrid between a pomelo and a sweet orange that appeared in Barbados in the 17th century. The orange itself is a hybrid between a pomelo and a mandarin. The lemon is a hybrid involving citron and pomelo lineage. Almost every common citrus fruit in the modern supermarket contains pomelo genes. The species is native to Southeast Asia and has been cultivated for over 4,000 years. The fruit is older than recorded history in the region. Almost every citrus you eat is its descendant.
A single cup of pomelo flesh delivers approximately 120 milligrams of vitamin C, well over a full day's recommended intake. That is one of the highest vitamin C concentrations in any common fruit, comparable to a kiwi and significantly higher than most oranges. Vitamin C drives collagen synthesis for skin, joints, and blood vessels. It supports immune cell function, enables iron absorption from plant foods, and acts as a circulating water-soluble antioxidant. Because pomelo segments are so large and the fruit is typically eaten in substantial portions, a single sitting can easily provide several days of vitamin C requirement. The vitamin C content is also unusually stable in pomelo compared to other citrus. The thick rind and pith insulate the flesh from oxidation, meaning a whole pomelo retains its vitamin C content for weeks at room temperature. The slightly bitter undertone of pomelo flesh comes from a flavonoid called naringin, the same compound responsible for the bitterness of grapefruit. Naringin has been studied extensively for its effects on lipid metabolism, blood glucose regulation, and anti-inflammatory pathways. Clinical studies have shown that naringin supplementation can reduce LDL cholesterol, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce markers of systemic inflammation. The pomelo also contains limonoids, bitter triterpenoid compounds, including limonene and nomelin, that have been investigated for anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory effects in laboratory studies. The bitterness is the chemistry is the benefit.
A cup of pomelo delivers about 2 grams of fiber, including a meaningful soluble fraction dominated by pectin. The pith, the thick white spongy layer between the rind and the flesh, is almost pure pectin and cellulose. While most people discard the pith entirely, in some traditional Asian preparations, the pith is candied or used in cooking. Pectin has been studied for its effects on cholesterol absorption, gut microbiome composition, and post-meal glucose response. The pomelo also provides folate, B vitamins, including thiamine and vitamin B6, and small amounts of vitamin A. The total caloric load is moderate at about 70 calories per cup, with around 18 grams of natural sugars and a glycemic index in the low to moderate range. A cup of pomelo delivers approximately 400 milligrams of potassium, around 9% of daily needs. Potassium is essential for blood pressure regulation, muscle contraction, fluid balance, and nervous system function. The pomelo also provides meaningful amounts of copper for iron metabolism and connective tissue formation, magnesium for over 300 enzymatic reactions, and trace amounts of phosphorus, calcium, and zinc. The fruit also contains the essential oils characteristic of citrus, d-limonene in particular, which has been studied for its effects on mood, digestion, and inflammation. The fragrance of a freshly peeled pomelo is one of the most distinctive in the citrus family, intense and floral. So what do you actually get when you peel open a pomelo? You get well over a full day of vitamin C in a single cup, one of the highest concentrations in any common fruit. You get naringin, the same flavonoid that gives grapefruit its bitterness, with documented effects on cholesterol, insulin sensitivity, and inflammation. You get limonoids, bitter triterpenoids investigated for anti-cancer activity. You get pectin and other fiber, potassium, copper, folate, and B vitamins. You get d-limonene from the essential oils. You get massive, satisfying segments of pale flesh that taste sweeter and less bitter than a grapefruit. And you get the ancestor of almost every modern citrus on Earth. Peel it, reveal the segments, and taste the giant that started it all.